We've heard a lot lately about the various Tea Party demonstrations and organizational activities. Think about the Tea Parties and think about from a constitutional perspective and perhaps from Tocqueville's perspective. Should we encourage them, ignore them, or should we try to reduce their activity?
From both a constitutional and a Tocquevillian perspective, this speech should not be limited in any way. The Tea Party movement is simply a form of self-government in de Tocqueville's eyes, and that because their positions have not been represented with the Healthcare Reform Act, they feel the need to take self-government into their own hands in the form of political protests. And this is what the Tea Party movement is doing.
However, if groups on the fringe of the Tea Party become violent and don't adhere to the principles of a democratic society, then it would be good to limit their speech through just time, place, and manner restrictions. But those are just the fringe of the Tea Party, and not the Tea Party itself is using their First Amendment rights of freedom of speech and should be very encouraged and listened to.
I would be interested in hearing how you would distinguish between equality of opportunity and equality of condition, and what responsibility, if any, you think government has to promote either or both.
I would have to agree with the columnist Irving Kristol when he stated that our democracy does not provide for an equality of condition, but an equality of opportunity. Therefore, I strongly believe that de Tocqueville would have been advocating for an equality of opportunity. When he referred to initial condition, in a sense he was referring to this opportunity to initiate in that there was no aristocracy in the United States and that property was more easily acquired, and therefore there was greater initial condition which translated to opportunity.
However, when it is shown that people might not have the same equality of opportunity, such as in Florida, we offer programs for lesser economically privileged schools to offer them money to have programs like food programs and after-school activities to try to promote, to try to get them to the same level of equality of initial opportunity. And
I'd have to respectfully disagree with my colleague Annabelle, because I think the elimination of aristocracy and the elimination of inherited nobility is precisely equality of condition, which therefore guarantees, with the existence of education for all, provides for equality of opportunity.
Yes, it's important to note that Alexis de Tocqueville, when he was talking about equality of condition, he was talking about equality of initial condition before the law and with education.
But do people have that currently, would you say? If, you know, I mean, the statistics are the top 1% of the population of the United States owns 35% of the wealth. And the bottom, it struggles quite a bit more than, say, the top. I mean, wouldn't you see that? And how would you correct that? And in the Constitution, how was the Constitution laid out to sort of equalize that?
Constitutionally, this wealth should not be redistributed to the more needy in society. What should happen is that the government has the responsibility to advocate for more basic conditions, and in respecting the Constitution, the rights in the Declaration of Independence of life, liberty, and property, there are basic needs that need to be met in order for equality of opportunity to even exist. For example, with food, a necessity of life, this is a necessary means in establishing equality of opportunity, as well as with the public education system. It is establishing some sort of equality in the public school education so that everyone has the same opportunity for education.
And even with that group that has so much of the money of the economy, it's important to note that that group has the equality of opportunity that every person has. Every person can have money and can have an education and can prosper. And even in America, with President Clinton, he was born in a middle class neighborhood in Arizona, and he rose through education, through the opportunities that America provides to become president of the United States. We have that opportunity, even if there is such a group that has so much money. Each person has the opportunity to rise through the ranks and use the opportunities that America provides them to become successful.
This has been upheld in cases such as Brown versus Board of Education, which has instituted an equality in education for all people, African Americans and white people alike.
And furthermore, the 14th Amendment protects with equal protection of the laws for every person, rich or poor.
this has even been extended to the children of illegal immigrants in the case of Plyler versus Doe, which equality of opportunity through this Supreme Court case and through proposed legislation such as the DREAM Act has been established to encourage equality of opportunity in education for basically anyone in the United States.
Would de Tocqueville support affirmative action?
Due to the fact that de Tocqueville did observe the fact that in America there was a greater opportunity of condition, he probably wouldn't have ever been able to fathom the need for affirmative action because he believed that there was equality of opportunity without affirmative action.
It's important to note that when affirmative action was proposed with President Johnson, it was a time that after the Civil Rights Act had passed, and there was a time that affirmative action was supposed to appease the sub-opportunity, the lack of opportunity that African Americans had. And so through this program that admissions would consider and jobs would consider African Americans or different minorities to try to give them a greater opportunity in employment or admissions. But today, after generations and decades of this program happening, the program and the idea of affirmative action perhaps has met its goal and does not need to be used anymore.
So the judge, since you have a little more diversity than some of the groups we've seen, I shouldn't give you extra points, right?
No.
Please don't.
We don't need it. Exactly.
Okay.